Hey, it's so good to see you again. If you're new to this channel, my name is Richard. I'm a high performance coach as well as an entrepreneur. And today I want to make a very specific kind of video. It's a little bit of a touchy subject, but as you saw from the title, it's how to stop watching porn. Look, right now I know we're all stuck at home, especially during this quarantine time, and a lot of the times this is a huge temptation. And speaking from a guy, I know that 90% of guys out there watch porn. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, Richard's talking about porn. This is such an uncomfortable, I'm cringing just by listening to Richard talk about it. Yes, I'm talking about porn. It's one of those stigmas, it's awkward to talk about. When you talk about it with your friends, you don't really want to bring it up. When you talk about it in church, people don't want to talk about it, but it needs to be addressed. And it's something that I know many of the guys and even gals out there right now watching this are struggling, and you might be struggling with it too. Now, to kick it off first, I wanted to be vulnerable with you and share with you about the porn struggle that I used to go through. So back in high school and even in university, porn was always one of those things that was an addiction of mine. Now, when you hear the word addiction, oftentimes you think about the cigarette smoker, you think about someone addicted to a harder drug like methamphetamine and all the other different kinds of really bad stuff out there. But really what addiction means is you tell yourself you don't want to do something, but you still find yourself doing it, right? There's millions of Americans out there that are addicted to food, addicted to sugar, and yeah, porn is an addiction, because even if you watch it, say, on a monthly or bi-weekly basis, and you say, I don't actually need to watch it, well, why are you still watching it then? Because the reason why you're watching this video is because you want to stop. Right? And so the reality is, if you just can't get yourself to stop, regardless of what the frequency is, yes, you do have an addiction. So I just need you to accept it the same way that I did. It's not your fault. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of marketers behind these pornographic companies that specifically make videos to make money from you, from ad revenue, from people buying that kind of stuff, right? They hijacked our brains because it feels so good, because it makes us feel like we're having sex, right? So the first thing is, I just wanted to identify that most people out there who watch porn have a porn addiction, and it's okay, but we need to accept that in order to fight that. Right? And now let's talk about some of the negative benefits of why porn is not so good. And then I'm going to talk about how we can fight against it. The first thing with porn, and you've probably felt this before, is it completely kills your motivation. Whenever you watch porn, after you watch it, it's called PMO, right? Pornography, masturbation, orgasm. You lose all of your energy and you don't really have the motivation to study, to work on your business, to go work out, etc., etc. You're actually releasing a lot of your motivation and sexual energy, and ultimately your drive to produce results in anything when you do so. And so for myself, I actually have a significant decrease in output in working on my business, in growing my faith, in having better health and fitness. On top of that, it gives you social anxiety. How many times have you watched porn in the past, PMO'd, and then you don't want to see friends anymore? You become super isolated, you just want to curl up and take a nap, right? It actually removes your ability to socialize with people, because it makes you feel that you've already had the ultimate form of social interaction between two loved ones, right? Sex. But you actually didn't. You're just watching two people online move around their body parts, and somehow that makes you ejaculate, right? So that's the second reason why porn is not good. And then the third reason is actually because we're objectifying people. Porn completely dehumanizes who we are as people, because sex is so much more than just the exchange of bodily fluids and body parts rubbing against each other, right? Sex is the ultimate form of expressing love. And as a Christian myself, I truly believe sex should be held between a man and a woman in marriage, right? And that's the most sacred form of intimacy out there. To be able to watch that freely, openly, whenever we want, it's a huge compromise against that intimacy. And I even found myself when I was in university, whenever I would watch porn, it would lead me to have objectifying thoughts about even the women around me. Classmates, friends, peers, right? It really messed up my mindset in the way that I saw women. And when I gave up porn, the way that I saw women, the way I treated women, the way that I interacted with women, all of that improved dramatically because I gave up that porn addiction. And then finally, I just want to talk about this as a person of faith. Look, I'm never going to impose faith on you. I'm never going to push religion on anyone, but I am a very strong man of Christian faith. And look, if you are a person of Christian faith as well, I just wanted to convict you with this, which is, it is a sin, okay? God calls us to have sexual purity and not fall into sexual immorality. And PMO, watching porn and doing whatever it is that you do when you watch porn, is considered a sin, and it is against what a creator wants for us, okay? So I just wanted to address that last point because it is very near and dear to my heart. Now, those are the different ways that porn is bad for us. And if you're still watching this video, I'm sure you already understand those things. So let's talk about how can you actually overcome your porn addiction. Alrighty, so the first thing when it comes to overcoming your porn addiction, this is really, really key. So look at me when I'm explaining this to you, alright? And if you have pen and paper, please pull this out right now and take notes on this. it is that speed of implementation is key. Right now when you're watching this video, you are in a pre-motivated state, you're paying attention to me, and you want to overcome this porn addiction. The thing about porn addiction is, right now when you're motivated, it's easy to take action to get things done. However, you give it a day, 2 days, maybe even a week, and then boom, you didn't take action, now you're back to watching porn, right? So the important thing is, I'm gonna share with you a couple more things on this video. I need you to take action immediately when this video is over. Okay, so that's the lesson number one. The second thing that you need to do is you need to eliminate any form of temptation completely. Whenever I work with my high performance clients on working with their diet, a lot of them say, Richard, I find myself cheating on foods all the time. And then I ask them, well, do you have junk food? If you struggle with eating Cheetos, Oreos, ice cream, do you have those things in your home? And they say, well, yeah, I do. I just try not to eat them. And that's the problem. If you have junk food in your house, regardless of how much willpower you can rely on, you're always going to give in eventually, because all of our willpower, regardless of whether you're a Navy SEAL or a super lazy person, you're going to break on your willpower at some point. And so in the same way I tell my clients to completely eliminate any form of junk food from the house, the rule becomes no junk food in the house. The rule here becomes you need to eliminate the temptation of porn by setting up blockers, right? And so on your phone and on your laptop and any other kind of device that you can have that has access to porn, you need to put parental supervision restrictions, right? That prevent you from going into any kind of adult site. So that's the first thing I want for you. Second thing that I would encourage for you to do is to go ahead and establish your why. This is another thing that I work with my high performance coaching clients. And essentially, whenever you do any kind of task, whether it's overcoming porn, building a business, getting better grades, you always need to understand why is it that you need to get it done. Because when you get tired, when you get demotivated, when you have a bad day and you think that porn's gonna kind of give you an extra hit of dopamine to make you feel a little bit better, you need to remind yourself of your why statement. So I'd like to encourage you, take down on a piece of paper, write down a couple paragraphs of why exactly it is that you need to stop watching porn. For myself, I was compromising against my faith, first and foremost. Secondly, every time I watch porn, it killed my motivation and it prevented me from growing my business and making impact in others. Thirdly, it gave me a huge social anxiety, so I couldn't get out there, talk with women, even talk with friends and other guys, because I would get a lot of anxiety from watching porn. So that's the second thing. Make sure you go ahead and establish your why. All right, so the next lesson that I have for you is you want to go ahead and find an accountability partner. So you might think it's easy to overcome porn by not watching it yourself, but eventually you're going to reach a time where you're tempted to watch porn again, right? Having an accountability partner, one trusted close friend of yours, and preferentially someone who also struggles with this as well, so that you guys can keep each other accountable. Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another, right? Proverbs 27:17 from the Bible. Reach out to a friend and say, look, I've really been struggling with watching porn, and I'll just be vulnerable with you. And chances are, if you reach out to them and vulnerable with them, they might just be vulnerable with you, right? Find an accountability partner. One thing that I personally do is I actually text my accountability partner at the end of every single day, and I have to report on, did I watch porn? Did I look at things on social media that could have tempted me from watching porn? Because as we all know, a lot of the stuff we see on Instagram with models and all that can tempt us, right? And so I send those two things every single day to my accountability partner to make sure that I'm always in check and also that my accountability partner is in check. And the last lesson that I have for you is you need to have some kind of skin in the game. What are the consequences when you actually watch porn? Chances are you don't actually have any kind of tangible consequence, right? So I'd encourage you to install a software that I've installed on my phone and all my other electronic devices for the past 3 years now. It's called Covenant Eyes. It's an app that completely prevents you from watching porn, and then also at the same time, anytime you do go on any kind of adult sites, it actually sends an update to your accountability partner. So even if I'm looking on images of girls in bikinis and in thongs and just super explicit images on social media, my accountability partner actually gets notified. And so I'm always aware that I got a brother who's watching my back, and that when I'm on my devices, I can't look at that kind of stuff, because when I do, it's gonna be super embarrassing, because they're gonna get alerts about my website searches. All right, and let me just say, it's not free, okay? I believe it's either $15 or $20 a month, but that's not a disadvantage. That's actually an advantage to you, because when you pay for something, you're more likely to pay attention, right? And get this, when you watch porn and you slip and you find some kind of crack to watch porn again, and you've already paid $15, $20 a month, you're gonna feel even more worse, and that's gonna motivate you because you don't want to lose that money, right? When you invest into Covenant Eyes, 15 to 20 bucks. It's gonna help you overcome your addiction. And then at the same time, if by any chance you do slip and fall, you're gonna be motivated now because you're gonna think, if I watch porn right now, I would have just wasted that $15, $20 a month investment. And so that's why Covenant Eyes is so powerful. Number one, it's accountability. Number two, you have skin in the game, so now you are paying attention because you're invested. Hey, I know this is a different kind of video, this is a longer kind of video, but I wanted to talk about this subject because I know when we're stuck at home right now, it's something that we can fall back into so easily, and I know what it's like to have my days completely ruined and feel embarrassed and feel just really bad about myself because I watch porn. So really want to encourage you, take massive action right now. Remember, success loves speed. You're motivated right now? Look at me. You're motivated right now, so please go take action. And hey, if you've never seen any of my videos before, I make videos on high performance, so go check out some of the videos right here. And also follow me on Instagram because I also put some exclusive motivational content that I'm sure will serve you as well. All right, so until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and go crush it.